Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 72. Can Bill fire this thing up and let's see if she'll burn?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to burn straight to the ground. How you doing, Cory?
I'm doing good. How are you doing
see
this
you,
morning?
my friend? Oh, I'm good, for sure. Oh, man, what a week. Busy week.
It was a busy week for both of us.
Yes, for sure. Had a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the the holiday live tour,
Yes.
Halloween edition. We've got, sometimes in say some of the Facebook groups and stuff, a lot of negativity about buyers in a lot of situations, but we got some good buyer situations that we are going to talk
buyers.
about. Yeah, gracious buyers, some good buyer experiences. So stick around. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show, but we always like to start out with how was your week? Oh, wait, we should probably talk though, right, about the holiday live tour right here.
Let's do it.
In the beginning.
That's coming up quick, right? That's Thursday, right?
Because this is Monday the 23rd. Yep. And Thursday, the 26th, we're prime time.
What's
you
prime
better write
time?
that down.
Yeah, what's the
prime
time?
8 p.m. Eastern time. 8 p.m. Eastern time.
7 o'clock normal time.
7 o'clock normal time. There's what? Eastern, then there's normal, mountain, and Pacific. Is that
right.
what you...
Correct.
Is that the time zones that you go with? Okay.
To my understanding.
Right here on this channel, Reseller Clickbait Podcast channel, Thursday evening, the 26th, 8 p.m., we will be live with a Halloween show. Here's the graphic right here. The holiday live tour official logo. Except I need to do so. Okay, look at this. Everybody turn and look at your screen right now. Look at this picture of Cory. I need to get a new picture of you, Cory.
If you're on the audio side of the podcast listening, come check out the YouTube channel because Ken put a picture of me on that holiday live tour logo that I'm not sure how he got a picture of me pooping, but there it is. It's right there.
You look a bit disgruntled, Cory, about wanting to do
whatever
the
it is.
live tour.
I wasn't happy there. It's supposed to be a festive time, Ken.
We're going to have some guests on the show. We are going to do a Halloween kind of trivia game. Yes. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have...
who are the guests?
We're going to reach into the coffers. Well, if I told you right now, that would spoil it.
Oh, Ken.
Well,
I can tell you a secret. I'm co-hosting.
Yes.
You can tell me, Ken.
Well, I will tell you. In who the guests are. No, well, we got some fun going on with that, and we got to put some teasers out here in the next couple of days of who guests will be, and games, prizes, everything that goes along with Halloween and fun. And so
we will all find out together.
Tune on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time for that. But anyway, we were talking about our week. At least we were starting to talk about our week, and then I interrupted with the holiday live tour stuff.
The important stuff.
Yes. Oh, we did one thing. Okay, one thing Cory and I did collectively together. We worked on the audio side of our podcast. Because now we have a new competition, much like our made up fake competition we're doing with the two old guys reselling podcast. I don't even know that those guys are, they did acknowledge it, but we're trying to race them to 1,000 subs. So, go tell your grandma or your aunt, get a bunch of fake accounts and
they're very confident over there.
Clickbait podcast. They're really somewhat dismissive about it, but we're
pulling out like between 3 and 5 new subs per episode, guys. So watch your back.
Yeah. They gave us grief because, they're like a third of the episodes and they already got 3 times more subs than we do. But we're racing them.
Yeah.
We're racing them over there in our minds anyway. We, hashtag goals. But now we worked on the audio this week because now we want to have better audio than the flippin' fantastic podcast. Because I heard a rumble and a buzz out there that they may have the best audio in the business. So Mo and Alicia, they've been working on their podcast over there, and their audio is spot on. So, we're going to take that title too. Eventually,
we'll get there.
Eventually, at least from the DOG standpoint, we got, those delusions of grandeur. We're going to be the best audio podcast. We're going to have more subs. We're going to be, I don't know, what other categories could we be the best at? Best looking host?
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, that's a stretch. I mean, maybe on the Halloween episode, if we wear a mask, we could pull that one off. We might be playing out of our depth here.
But hopefully there's somewhat of a noticeable difference in our audio. If not, hey, if you notice something, throw it down in a comment. We would appreciate that. Or if you have any suggestions, we're always open to suggestions.
Or just criticism.
How to make the show better. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Doesn't have to be constructive.
It does not. It does not. Tear us down, rip us apart. We don't care. But so
Ken, speaking of Halloween here, we got a surprise delivery at our house this week that I had no idea was coming. And when you order from Grainger or something, you order boxes and they come in those giant pallet-sized cardboard boxes.
Yes.
Well, we got one of those that showed up at our house, and we opened it up, and there was like $200 worth of individual candies in the box. Like hundreds and hundreds of pieces of candy showed up at our front porch.
So you kind of went trick-or-treating at Grainger. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, it wasn't from Grainger.
No. Oh, it wasn't from Grainger. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay.
It was a Grainger-like box. I was trying to explain how big the box was.
Gotcha. Okay. So who sent said candy?
Well, Amazon sent it, but Graham's ordered it. So Teresa placed an order. They have an event here in town on our main street every year for Halloween, where all the businesses on Main Street hand out candy to all the kids on one day.
Oh, yeah.
And we usually participate. Teresa usually dresses up in a big inflatable chicken outfit and walks around in front of our building.
you guys and your chickens. Last week you talked about how you raise chickens for company.
And we like our chickens.
You got some chicken maintenance going on there with your summer and your winter.
They're the only pet that feeds you. They feed you breakfast, and when you're sick of them, you can eat the pet. So we do like our chickens.
Unlike cats, if you're...
We can, but I've heard they're stringy.
I guess it depends on what country you're from, whether or not you're eating. Okay, so Teresa's dressing up in this inflatable chicken. Oh, please tell me there's going to be photographs of this.
There's going to be photographs. There are every year. But yeah, she had a giant box that's probably 3 foot by 3 foot box of just candy show up at our doorstep, which was a shocking surprise to say the least when I went to open it thinking it was boxes. But then it made it worse because she actually, when she saw me open it, I got yelled at for opening it, for one. And then now I'm not allowed to eat any of said candy.
See, you probably were all excited, like, yes, it's here.
I was. It was like winning
and
the lottery and then finding out the ticket was in your neighbor's name. It's just, it's not fair.
Okay, now are these like just little hard candies? Are the candy bars? Are they what? She got everything, like all the popular candy bars and Skittles and Snickers and all that stuff, but they're all the miniature size ones. Okay. They call that the fun size. There's nothing fun. There's nothing.
It just means you got to open more wrappers.
2 bites of candy. Yeah. See, if everybody gave, it would help. In the with the like the recycling and everything in this country. Everybody's conscious about litter and all that stuff. If everybody gave out full size candy bars, there would be less paper wrappings.
You know what makes them even less fun?
Street. What?
Teresa. But you won't let you eat them.
Yes. Man, come on. I'm going to send out a plate. Teresa, come on. Give a guy,
Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work on Teresa. No, she's, when she says no eating the candy, I have to go buy my own.
Okay. I don't think she's listening to this part, Cory. Have you?
Oh, she don't listen to this podcast at all, Ken.
At all? She doesn't. You should get into her account and, like and subscribe. Anyway, we need that subscriber count. But
I should.
Have you snuck any? Since she's not listening, I don't have to whisper anymore. Have you snuck
maybe a bag of Skittles, maybe one bag of Skittles, and it could have been, we'll just maybe.
Maybe one little bag, or like a bag that had like multiple bags in it.
It was one of the little bags, but she has a spreadsheet with how many pieces of candy she has, because she tracks it every year to know what she needs to buy for next year. So we'll see if I get caught at the end. This
is an operation here. Keeping spreadsheets for trick or treat candy.
We gave candy to 600 kids last year, just over 600 kids.
Wow, that's cool. That's a good downtown. And do most of the businesses downtown event, or do they participate?
Pretty much everybody. Yep.
That's cool. That's fun. Well, and it's cool that you're not one of those, grumpy old curmudgeon businesses that don't give away anything. You turn out your lights, put the close sign on the door, and
I am. Teresa saves the day for the kids. I'd lock her up.
Cool. Now this is at your business where you do the axe throwing and the escape room.
It is.
And stuff like that. Oh, that is pretty cool. So what do you do for the adults do the adults get anything from the escape room, or what do they?
Well, we serve beer in the back, but it's usually in the morning, so we don't get a lot of business at the beer counter.
You're serving, but that's a good way to start the day. Get all tanked up on some beer first thing in the morning and throw some axes.
I feel like that plays better where Art is. If we had a whole bunch of Art of resales running down the street trick-or-treating, we could probably pull a few more in for the beer counter. Art's,
he's a little small in stature. He can probably still get away with trick-or-treating, with a good mask where they don't see him.
We'd give him the candy if he brought the Mario outfit.
Speaking of fun size, Art of Resell is fun size. And do you guys do you dress up? You don't have an inflatable like pig costume or a cow costume or anything like that you're wearing?
We're just keeping the farm animal theme.
You could be an inflatable farmer. Wait, I
dress up as the Colonel for KFC. She's the chicken.
Oh, dude, that is awesome.
A couple costume. I could probably dye this white and shave the rest off and.
There you be, little Colonel Sanders. You could be finger licking good. That could be.
Yeah.
Hey, our
candy. I don't think Colonel is finger licking good.
Is finger looking good. Well, I think that you should do something there at the escape room for the adults to come by her.
I might have passed the weight class for the Colonel, so I think he was a skinny guy.
But we're gonna move on. What else went on with your week there? So we worked on the audio. We did that. We're trying to find out if that was good. Oh, so I get this. Here's something that happened. So the other day, I get this, or I get a text from Jill, and it's just cry. It's like one of the cry emojis, when she's all sad, and I'm like, uh-oh. Something happened. I'm like, what's wrong? I message her real quick, what's wrong? Everything okay? And it comes back and she's like, who needs the Hallmark Channel when you have Paul and Lena? And she had seen all of the posts that came out congratulating Paul Philly Flipper and his new bride to be, Lena. I think I'm saying that right. Lena. Paul proposed to Lena, and man, it was a cool beachside setup. Go check out Paul's channel. Check out his vlog and his Instagram. But I want to throw out a congratulations to my friend Paul Philly Flipper and to Lena for their upcoming nuptials, if you will. I don't even know when the date is. I haven't
I haven't heard anything on that yet.
A whole lot of content or whatever. And I guess I'll know when it is when I get my invitation in the mail.
Yeah, me too.
To that'll be as good as getting a $200 box of candy. I don't know. Is it really?
I don't know.
Get it?
Well, yeah, it depends on the location. We'll say that. The candy's pretty enticing, but with Paul, this could be like a Kardashian wedding thing. This is going to be a big one.
And it could be good size if he invites the reseller community. It could be huge. Yeah. Oh, it'll be for the rest of us, it'll be a destination wedding if we're heading down there to Florida to, warm weather. He's kind of fast tracked this whole thing. Didn't he just announce like 2 weeks ago that he actually had been dating her for a while and now they're planning an engagement and a wedding. So I don't know if they're postponing that for a while or not postponing, but I don't know if that date's coming up later on. But man,
I've got no room to talk there.
So far. Yes.
Why is that? We made quick decisions and did the whole thing pretty quickly ourselves. So good for him.
Yeah. Me too. Jill and I, we've,
yeah.
We're on that fast track as well.
35 years in, you'll get there.
You got to get to know a person before you you dive in there. So congratulations to Paul and to Lena for that. I was super excited to see all of that stuff. So what else? What else you got? What else went on this week? Anything exciting that wasn't reseller related?
It's reseller related, but it's not. I got another package other than my candy. I think the post office is just messing with me this week. They're sending me all kinds of cool stuff that I wasn't expecting. So we actually got a package from American Bubble Boy. Did you get one?
No, I didn't order anything.
A package we didn't order. We didn't order this.
Oh, was it addressed to you?
It was addressed to me.
It was addressed to
Teresa,
you.
So I got to decide what happens with it this time.
Yes, and you get to open it and you get to eat everything that's in the box. Was there food in the box? I don't know what, but actually, American Bubble Boy.
There is some food in the box, believe it or not.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
And it wasn't plastic.
So you go and you got a package. American Bubble Boy sent you a package that you didn't order. I didn't get a package. Wait, okay. What's this package about?
Well, the first thing on top of the package was this really cool Christmas card. I don't know if you can see it, but it's Abraham Lincoln holding bubble wrap and riding a bear with an American flag.
Wait, let's solo lay out there with the okay. The
Isn't
patriotic
that the card
Christmas card thing. Yes. I love that.
So it was a Christmas package. It was a care package.
Okay.
And it had a little bit of everything in it. It had some of their stuff. So it got a sampler pack of the coffee, the American Bubble Boy coffee. And we do drink coffee, so we'll try that out. We'll have to let everybody know how that is. I haven't tried it.
I didn't know they sold coffee.
They do.
I guess I should get on their site and order some. I haven't ordered anything yet. Maybe that's why I didn't get a care package.
You know, it might have something to do with that.
Sometimes just being a nice guy doesn't benefit.
It's not enough. No.
Okay, Christmas card and coffee, and that's
and we got some Instapacks. Have you seen these?
Oh, are those things that like?
Yeah, when you
blow up and
mush them together,
okay,
they turn into this giant thing. So they kind of form around whatever it is you're trying to pack up.
Yeah, I've had that situation of mushing something around and it turns into a giant thing.
Ken, PG.
Please continue.
And it had some tape. I got a 6-pack of tape in here.
My go-to
tape,
or did they send you somebody else's brand just to get rid of it so that they could
Yeah, it's all Uline tape. No, it's the My Go-To tape. And then the cool thing is they sent me just something different from upstate New York. So we got some Ben and Judy's syrup.
Ben and Judy's here. I'm going to make you big again here. Ben and Judy's syrup, barrel aged.
Yeah, manufactured in Beaver Creek Road, West Edmondson, New York. So,
that's pretty cool.
That could have come a day earlier, Joel. I'm just saying, I'm very thankful for the package, but that could have come a day earlier and it would have saved our household a little bit of turmoil because we had a bit of a pancake debacle at our house the night before.
Well, let me guess. Pancakes were made, cooked, ready, stacked up, hot buttered, and no syrup.
One syrup. And it was not the typical, what do you drink? Don't drink syrup. What do you use for syrup at your house?
Just a regular old maple syrup, like from, Mrs. Butterworth's or whatever brand. Probably most likely the Great Value Walmart brand of syrup.
And that's usually what we use too. Just a kind of a generic maple syrup, just normal syrup. And all we had was one little 4-ounce bottle of some artisanal Canadian syrup that we got for Christmas from somebody in a sample pack.
Somebody that didn't care for you.
And we put it on there because it was all we had. And let me just say, not all syrup is created equal. Not a pancake was consumed that day. It was gross.
Not good. Oh man, and then now you ruined a whole good stick of pancake. Okay, so I've noticed here. So what is the product that you're talking about right now? Just say it again.
Pancakes. Syrup?
No. What do you put on them?
Oh, syrup. The Ben and Judy's.
Okay, syrup. My dad always gets because I say syrup, like syrup. I'm putting syrup on it, and you said more like a syrup.
Syrup.
So I don't know why I got my voice.
Syrup.
I have some syrup for them. Syrup. I don't know. Syrup. That's how. I don't know.
Did
maybe
I pronounce
that's
it
me.
Wrong? Syrup.
Maybe
syrup?
That's. I don't know.
Maybe.
I understood the product that you meant. I understood what you meant when you said syrup, but I guess I say it more syrup. I don't know.
Tasty, sticky tree juice.
There you go. Hey, that's the
tree juice.
Hey, honey, do we have any tree juice? I just made some. Some.
All right, this has been a pretty food heavy episode, so we'll let you guys go. Now I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry now. I need to make me up a stack of.
Well, I got a bottle of syrup here, so syrup,
pancakes, syrup. And flapjacks. Syrup. I went through that one day to see what the difference between flapjacks and pancakes.
Is there a difference?
Well, there is a difference. They're pretty much one and the same, but it's the way that they're made or a couple of different ingredients that are, and I don't remember. I did all the research one time before because that's what I spend my brain power on is, it's like, wait, how's come some are called flapjacks and some are called pancakes. And so
I always assumed they were the same thing.
No, I think flapjacks are more of like a waffle sort of consistency, like waffle batter or whatever is a little bit different, but then you make it like pancake. I think that's right. I don't know. Does it really matter? I guess
it does to me because now I got to go look it up.
Now you got to go look up #Google flapjacks or whatever it is. But yeah,
it's on my to-do list.
Your household was just all about food, candy, and everything sweet. Well, I guess we did talk about chickens, and chickens are, yummy and delicious, just like candy and syrup and pancakes. Man, I'm hungry. We do this in the morning. Well, right after we get done recording, I actually go next door and have breakfast.
For flapjacks.
Every Sunday morning. And so, I don't know if they're making pancakes. Usually don't make pancakes. Sometimes there's pancakes, but it's usually, your standard breakfast fare, bacon, eggs, or sausage.
Yep.
Usually a potato of some.
Is it? Now that I think about it, it's been kind of a week of food talk because we talked on the phone earlier this week and we had a discussion about cocoa wheats, another breakfast food.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love cocoa wheat, especially like this time of year. I love. Okay, so do you like? Okay, We kind of talked about this, so I know the answer, but we'll see if there's any comments. First of all, cocoa wheats, yummy and delicious.
It's fantastic breakfast food. Actually, it's fantastic anytime food.
It is really, mostly for me, it's like a fall and a winter time, kind of get that hot, chocolatey, cocoa-y, I don't.
We'll give it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yummy goodness. We'll just go with that. You get that yummy goodness of cocoa wheats, and I like them. Do you like them lumpy or do you like them smooth and creamy?
I like a cinder block, like just a big chunk that I could break up into little chunks. So I like it to come out like a big gelatin glob.
You're not stirring them a whole lot when you're cooking them. You're just letting them kind of solidify in the bottom, a little less liquid.
Yeah, I like to put enough cocoa wheats in the water that you can't stir them. Like, get it good and thick.
Yeah, I like mine mostly creamy, but I love when you find like a bonus lump, like a bonus little clump of that's a little bit of milk on there, little warm up the milk a little bit so it doesn't cool down the cocoa wheats. A little bit of sugar on.
And it's got to be the cocoa wheats. It can't be that malto meal crap.
Oh no.
I've had Teresa tried to switch that on me one year. She's like, "Well, just try this. It was cheaper." I'm like, "No, that's not good."
Yeah, some things, it's just like our show sponsor, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. It is the cheesiest, and there is no substitute for Kraft, just the same as who makes cocoa wheats? What is the brand company? Oh, wouldn't that be great if it was the Kraft Corporation? Because maybe we could do a corporate tie-in.
I have a box out there, but I'm not going out to get it.
You can eat Kraft all day long. Start your morning, a well-balanced breakfast of lumpy cocoa wheats and...
Did Miss Bill ever try and switch it out when you were growing up and give you the cream of wheat instead of cocoa wheat?
Oh no, yeah, my dad will eat cream of wheat. I'm not a cream of wheat fan at all. Well, I shouldn't say at all. It's like
eating cotton balls. There's nothing there. Yeah, there's no taste.
Not a fan. Now, how about oatmeal though? Are you a fan of oatmeal? I like oatmeal.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. With brown sugar and butter.
Yes. Anything that I can put extra sugar in, I'm good. You don't really need extra sugar in the cocoa wheats. You don't really need extra sugar in.
Oh, yes, you do.
You need extra sugar in your Kraft macaroni and cheese. But, I'm going to sugar that baby. No, I don't.
Did you say, I was going to say, did you say sugar in your mac and cheese? Did we do anything non-food related this week? Well, I asked, did we? I guess I should have said, did you?
Did I do anything not? I did have a private pick that I went to that went.
Oh, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, it was okay. It was a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, a kind of a whole household. It ended up to be like stuff in the garage. And I picked up some decent stuff this at the sale, or it wasn't really a sale. It was just a private pick. They were trying to, everything that was left basically after they had cleaned out the house was it was all going to Goodwill. On, at the end of the week here, they were going to clean out. That was the last ditch effort. So anything that was left over, it was just come over, take what you want. I did fill up the truck, for sure, the back end of the truck and the whole back seat. And Jill had to sit and hold half of the stuff that we got because we had stuff that, it's like, okay, you get in, then I'll hand you all of this stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff that I'm going to list. There was, I took 2 or 3 boxes of VHS tapes, but one of the boxes had a VHS player in it. And so I'll be able to resell that. There was, I can't even remember, some other Christmassy related items. There was a little bit of clothing. There was just stuff. Nothing that I would say oh, this is, oh, I picked up this thing, but just extra
Nothing
stuff.
super exciting.
No, probably basically more stuff that I'm going to set on the pile out in the garage and then get to it eventually. There's nothing that I had to get listed right away. But
Teresa bought a new Christmas village yesterday. We went to an estate sale. Matter of fact, when we're done here today,
yes.
She plans on dragging me back to that estate sale again because they're 50% off today. But yeah, she bought another Department 56 Christmas village. She bought the whole layout.
The whole village.
Yep. So she's got, I don't know. I think she spent just under $400 on it, and there was 73 pieces. So
oh wow,
she paid up a little bit, but I think we'll do good. We looked enough of them up to know that, I mean, at basically $5.5, $6 a piece, we're gonna do pretty decent on it. So
oh yeah, especially that many pieces. Or did they all have the boxes and stuff to them? Yep,
everything's boxed. Yep, all the boxes and foam are there.
That takes a little bit of time to list them. I know, here, shameless plug on my Ken versus 10 episode, Thursdays at 11 Eastern, over on my SSKPromo channel. That was one of the things I listed this week was Department 56 items. And you got to get them all out. You got to set them up. If they have lighting fixtures, you got to test that. You got to, get good photos. Then you got to box them all back up. And
there's always one little porch light or flag or something on the building that needs a dot of glue on it because they're just a pain in the butt.
Exactly.
Yeah, Teresa does those. She loves doing them. Like she'll set 30 or 40 of them out for an afternoon, and she'll just burn through them. So the problem is space. They take up a lot of room.
I only had right now currently in that lot that I think there was 9 of them total. So it wasn't anything, and I had about $7 a piece of them. And I sold the first piece within about an hour of listing it, sold for $30. So, and it was kooky because it was one of the smallest, it was the smallest box of all the pieces that sold, like I said, within about an hour for $30. So that was cool to kick off the sales for that week's episode.
I think this will be our probably our fourth or fifth big Department 56 buy. This would be probably the third from the biggest. So it's one of our smaller buys, but I think she's going to do, we've done really well with all of them. So we figure as long as we can get them under $7 or $8 a building, you really aren't going to get hurt on them. You're going to average out pretty decent.
Exactly. Yeah. And hopefully a lot of them will go this season yet so that you don't have to store them all through the next year. You know what I need to get? I need to get me a Teresa.
Yeah, everybody needs a Teresa. She's a workhorse.
Well, because she seems to thrive and enjoy doing the tedious stuff.
That's where she's at home.
Taking those things out of the boxes, setting them up, and the thing that helps is she gets the joy out of it. So not only learning and the knowledge and stuff, but just like what you guys do with all the Barbies and all the big lots of Barbies and all of that sort of stuff, that to go through that stuff just takes time. And it's, I steer away from some of that.
She asked for Christmas one year, one of those puzzles without a picture on it, just like a blank puzzle that's like 3,000 pieces, but there's no picture on it. It's just all white or all black. Okay. And she wanted it. She asked for that for Christmas. If you gave me that for Christmas, we're not friends anymore. I would be angry. And that's just the kind of tedious thing she'll sit down and do for days.
That's so I'm gonna put Teresa on my Christmas list.
I'm gonna find a box big enough to put her in.
And say, hey, how about that one that the candy came in? You were talking about how big that box was. But that would be great. Well, good luck with that buy of the Department 56. But what else? Let's get into our reselling topic here. We're just gonna change gears. That whole quick segue. Hey, speaking of reselling and good buys and good buyers.
Goodbyes. Goodbye.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
That's been a show. We're going to wrap it up short.
Check us out on the Holiday Live Tour Thursday night at
We've really got to fix
Eastern.
that picture.
We do. Yes. That Cory's like, oh, man.
That was right after Teresa delivered the candy and told me I couldn't have any. That's what that is.
So we were talking earlier in the week about just kind of eBay and sales and stuff in general, and some of our situations that we've had come up. And when you look at a lot of the Facebook groups that are about reselling, or you watch a lot of people's videos and stuff, sometimes the buyers get a little short-sighted, because most of the time people want to bring up a bad experience, or maybe it's not even they're bringing it up to complain about a buyer. They're bringing it up to ask a question, like, this buyer did this, or this is this situation. And then they're asking an honest question, and then your comments get to be,
It
negative.
skews to the negative.
I would block them, and I would blah, blah, blah. And they're just trying to scam. But,
well, then not to agree with them, but I'm always on the block them first list. But no, the comments do tend to skew very negative very quickly. When it comes down to a buyer is doing something type of comment. Yeah, I agree.
But I think overall, though, if you look at your sales, and I think any reseller, I could probably say this, if you have a problem with every buyer, maybe perhaps you need to look at your own self and your own customer service. But if you look at your sales as a whole, the amount of items that, a lot of us ship out, if you ship out tons of stuff, or even if you're, kind of a hobby guy that ships out, 3 or 4 packages a week, the majority of those buyers are good buyers without incident, without, they may leave a positive feedback. They may not. Sometimes I consider no feedback at all to be just as good as a positive feedback, because you send out, an item and you don't hear anything. You're assuming, hey, that transaction went well. The money's in my bank account and stuff. But I had a couple of good buyer experiences. One was not really necessarily a buyer experience, but more of an eBay experience that I have a question on. But I guess the first one that I would go into that was kind of a positive experience was I had a buyer contact me and said they had received an item and they really liked the item, and they went to leave me feedback, positive feedback. And somehow it ended up, it clicked in as a neutral feedback. And they kind of had a positive comment, and they were concerned about that. They didn't want to, I don't know if they were another reseller or if they just a conscientious, what's that word?
That's a tough one. Yeah. Conscientious.
There you go.
Concierge. Yeah.
Yes, they were. I have my own eBay concierge.
So did they just forget to click the stars? Is that how it would be neutral, is if you just don't click the stars?
Well, no, I think when you leave feedback for somebody, you can choose positive, neutral, or negative.
Okay.
And
I guess
you do it.
I'm not sure, because I'm not usually the one leaving the feedback, and the feedback we do leave is automated now. So
okay,
we're never on that side of the transaction.
So when you buy something from somebody on eBay or anything like that, you're not giving them a positive feedback?
Almost never, I don't think. I mean, unless something was abnormal about the transaction.
So
in a good way.
If it was abnormal, okay.
Well, good or bad. If it was out of the ordinary, like if they did really good customer service or did something extra or just really botched the transaction and did something really bad. If there was something out of the ordinary or unusual, we would leave feedback, I'm certain. But if it was just business as usual, buy this, ship this, got this, I think we almost never leave feedback. But it's that way across the board on Amazon and eBay and everywhere we shop.
Yeah. Usually Amazon, I'm not doing anything like that. But eBay, I always leave, because again, I like to support the other sellers. I like to support the platform. I like to go through that. So I will always leave, even when I do the order my eBay supplies. Hey, there you go. Shout out to the eBay coupon. If you have a store and you haven't used your fourth quarter coupon yet, go find your code and order you some supplies. But I'll even leave feedback for there. Plus, eventually eBay will start, sending you constant emails. Hey, remember to leave feedback. Remember to leave feedback. Which I think usually that's what happens in a lot of my feedback is like, man, that person bought this thing a month ago and I'm just now getting feedback. It's probably because they got that email. But anyway, back to the situation. The person had left me a neutral feedback. I hadn't even seen it yet, but they were concerned and they reached out to me and said, hey, I like the item that I got. I tried to leave positive feedback, but something happened and it came up as neutral. And they even took it upon themselves to contact somebody or Google it or figure it out, and found out that the only thing that they could do was reach out to me and ask me for a feedback revision.
Yep.
To the thing, of which, I had to go. I hadn't had that situation happen, so I had to go out and look up a little bit of info myself. And
talk about going above and beyond. Like, who does that?
I know. As a customer, just they could have just left it as neutral and went on and not even concerned themselves. But I was able to send that feedback revision, and I'd say within 5-10 minutes of that, they had sent me a message back and thanked me for sending them the revision request, and they changed it to a positive and it was a good review. So that was cool. I really appreciated that. And one of the other reasons why I like to leave positive feedback for anybody, even if it's like the boxes that I get from not Amazon, but the eBay supplies. If I buy from a personal buyer, I leave the feedback again. Just we talked about giving out eBay gift cards this year, to help support the platform itself. If somebody wants
I've got to get better.
From us,
I've got to get better at that. I suppose that's just something you don't think about as a consumer. If I didn't sell on the platform, it probably would never even come up. It would never even be a thought. But because I do sell on the platform, it's something I should get better at, is leaving positive feedback. And I think in general, like what we're talking about, 99.9%. If you have less than 90% of your feedback is not good, like either no feedback or good feedback, then you're probably doing something wrong as a seller, right?
Yeah.
Almost, if you do 1,000 transactions and you have one or two of those that are negative experiences, that's up there. That's a good percentage.
That's a good track
in my
record
mind.
that you're keeping that many customers happy. And I don't really think on eBay or the platform, these days, that how much people even take a look at the feedback when they are purchasing something. I don't know if that's important to somebody. I know when I'm going out to buy something, I check, I look and see, if they're still in that 99% range in this stuff, I don't even concern myself. Or, if it's lower,
I just look to make sure there is feedback and it's above 90%. And as long as it's not like they've only had 2 reviews ever, or they have no feedback at all. But if there's at least a little bit of feedback and it's positive feedback, then I'm pretty comfortable ordering. eBay has such a good buyer protection built in that I usually don't get too nervous unless they just have like 40 bad reviews. And there are buyers out there with a lot of negative reviews.
Yes.
And I tend to stay away from them, but
well, and there are filters as a seller. There are filters to, people that have low rating or non-payments and stuff like that. You can filter them out from even being able to buy stuff. But
by and large, most of our experiences are good. Even like this week alone, over the past week or two, we've had 2 different buyers that kind of went above and beyond trying to be decent humans. And and did stuff they didn't have to do. Like one of them was we shipped out silverware to two different customers that ordered on the same day, and we mixed the boxes up. So we sent one lady 4 spoons who ordered forks and 1 forks who ordered spoons. And we had to talk with both customers to get it rerouted. And
I thought you were trying to hook. I thought you were trying to like get those 2 customers hooked up so they could share a meal. You know, one one could bring some soup with the spoons. The other, maybe chicken
but lucky
dinner
you.
Or
we know a guy who's missing all of his forks, and you got all the forks. No, we actually sent them labels, and they shipped their silverware across to each other, and they communicated with us the whole time. And both of them have confirmed they got the correct package now, and it was super easy, which could have been a very difficult and profit-losing situation had both customers not just been fantastic to deal with. And the next, we sent out, have you ever been ice fishing?
I have not.
They have these little things called pop-ups.
Now, hold on, Cory. I am here coming up. I'm going to be starting my new segment, Ken Complains About Winter. Do you think a guy that's going to do Ken Complains About Winter is going to sit out in the middle of the cold just to fish? Now, I love fishing. I'm a fair weather fisherman. And, I suppose ice fishing in one of those shacks, where you got a heater and stuff, that wouldn't be bad. But around here, it doesn't deep freeze like that enough to really...
Yeah, if you're getting really cold ice fishing, you're doing it wrong. We ice fish in a shack with a heater and all that. But
okay. So.
They have pop-ups for outside the shack that you could put your fishing line on. And when you get a fish or a bite, it pops this little flag up.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had a couple of those. Yes. We had a couple of those brand new. And the guy ordered 2 of them. He ordered both of them we had. We shipped him just 1.
Boo.
And we shipped it out ground advantage.
Okay.
Which is how he ordered it. But we put it in one of those priority shoe boxes and didn't change the shipping. So not only did he only get half his order, when he got his order at the post office, he had to go pick it up from the station and pay $4 for them to release it because it was underpaid.
Ouch. Yeah, that's...
And this guy has been nothing but super nice. Like we're shipping his other package out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's been great. Like we're gonna refund him the $4 that he lost, and that it's always helpful when the people are understanding. But yeah, both of those situations, isn't that just a horrible feeling though when you get that notification from that customer? It's like, hey, I ordered spoons and I got forks, or hey, I was supposed to get 2 of these. I got 1 and I had to pay $4 for it, $4 extra. And you just your stomach kind of turns over, and it's like it's going to be one of those. People talk about loving to hear that cha-ching sound from eBay, and that may be one of the best sounds to hear. But that email chime on eBay is got to be one of the worst, because it's very seldom you get one of those emails coming in from a previous order that's a good thing.
Now they had changed over not too long ago where you get, it used to be the best when somebody sent you a best offer, it was a cha-ching, and now it's that notification sound that comes up. And so where you used to be like, oh, you'd hear that little chime, it's like, this isn't good. Now, at least a lot of times it's positive with the best offer. And I always hated that, it's that whole week or whatever, when you shipped out like a big ceramic Christmas tree, that somebody paid you $130 for, and, you've got it wrapped up. It's just like, please don't be about that. Please don't be about that. You're, when you hear that little chime. And I
think we've always got that one order out there that we're waiting for that 30-day period to run out on, that we're just like, please don't have an issue. We've always got kind of one of them in the queue that are like that. But
so I had one like that. Well, I want to talk about my other one that was, I have a couple of other things that are along that good buyer experience. and one had to do with like I'm a negotiating guy. Like when I'm buying, because I've always talk about how you gotta, you make your money in the buy. You hear that? I didn't come up with that, but it is a true statement. And so I negotiate.
Actually, that's false. You don't get any money till the customer pays you.
Well, this is true, but
I see the sentiment. Like I get what they're saying, and it's true.
Yeah. And yeah, if you can, just for numbers, if you can buy something for $5, or if you can buy a $5 item for $3 because you negotiated or whatever, that's making more money. That's making those fees. But that's a whole different conversation. But so when you do take best offers, you get a lot of lowball. You can get a lot of lowball offers, and I love when people are negotiating with you through the offers. I had an item the other day that, I get the initial offer that's just like lowball. It's less than half price on an item. And it's just like, okay, that's ridiculous. So I send back an offer that's kind of equally as ridiculous below my current price. Well, then that started like a whole back and forth. They offered a little bit more, I took a little bit off. They offered a little bit more, I took a little bit off. So after it was the fair negotiation after the low ball offer. And it's like, to me, that's the kind of customer that I like. Somebody that's because you get so many low ball offers, you counter offer, and then you just never hear of anybody again. And
are you one of the guys that will just kind of block them and be done with it, or do you always counter?
Oh, I always counter. If their offer is just stupid, ridiculous low, I'll take a buck or something off of my asking price, just to send back and say, I'm not goofing around. I don't even message. I just take a little bit off and whatever. If they come back with another offer that's a little bit higher, then I start that whole kind of best offer negotiation process. So I ended up selling the item to this person that it was an initial lowball offer for a price that I was good with. Again, I'm in that mindset now that I'm not married to this inventory. I want to move it along. Was it a little less than maybe what I could have got out of it? That's one thing I struggle with all the time is, do I leave money on the table? But I've said before on here too, I think there's a big difference between leaving money on the table and putting food on the table. Because I do this as a full-time business. Yeah.
There's an inventory cost to having something on your shelves too. You have X amount of space that you have that you can take up, and every item that's taking up space is costing you something. So there's something to be said for getting it out the door.
So for me, that was a good buyer experience this week. What started out as another low ball ended up to be a fair negotiation. I like that going back and forth, and you kind of meet in the middle.
I'm not a big fan of the back and I don't mind the back and forth a little bit. I don't like the back and forth multiple times. Yeah, we will generally do, even if it's a low ball offer, we'll counter with a decent, say if we're willing to take 20% off, that we'll go right there and send that back. And then when they send off the next offer, which they always do, we just decline everything from then on.
Yeah, I will do that. I will either, if it's still just too low, I will just decline it so they get the hint. Or if I get to that point this is the lowest that I'm going to sell, that 20% off or whatever. Mm-hmm. If they counter, I will counter with the same number over,
you set up your auto decline?
I do not.
We've started doing that on more and more products. That's been really nice because it kind of takes all those lowball offers and just gets them out of there. The only reason that I don't do that, when I first started, I used to do that all the time. But that whole process, I don't know, just for numbers, you have a $50 item and you say the lowest that I'm going to take for that is
is $35. Okay, just to throw a number out there. And you put that in there as an auto decline. Well, at some point, if I'm trying to clear out inventory or whatever, and let's say I run a 50% sale, that's going to bring that item to $25, that lowest offer thing screws with you being able to put a price lower than the item that the lowest offer that you will accept.
That's a good point. Yep, I hadn't thought of that.
It used to mess with a lot of stuff, and finally it's like, you know what? I don't mind the negotiation process. I don't mind the back and forth. Some people are ridiculous about it with their low balls, and most of the time when they're low ball and you send your offer back, you just don't hear from them again. And it's a one-time.
I don't mind it. It doesn't. The back and forth doesn't bother me. It's just you only have so much time in a day, and when you're dealing with 40 of those a day, on some days it gets to be a lot.
Hey, I would love to deal with 40 of those a day. I'm talking, that whole back and forth a few times a week. Now I get a number of offers, and it's either you send back a counter offer or just a straight up decline. But you send back that counter offer, and they're either buying it at that point, or they might give you, like in this instance, they'll give you a little bit of back and forth, and I appreciate that. Then it always gets to that point where you go, if I try to squeak out just a little bit more money, are they just going to dump out? And it's like, damn, I could have sold that for, the $25, but I wanted 28, and then you lose the sale. But kind of my last instance is really kind of more of a question too. I had an item that it was a video game that I had sent out, and the buyer opened a case and said that it was that they had not received the item. Okay, so I go out and I check in my my order status or whatever, and it shows that it had been delivered. I have tracking information that shows it's delivered. So I went through those processes when the case was open, and I sent the tracking information to the buyer, and then you can also do the contact the buyer, and I sent them that information in that as well that showed that it was there, and I didn't hear anything back. So I figured, okay, I'm not a person that immediately goes to scam, I'm being scammed by this buyer. I always give everybody kind of the benefit of the doubt. So I figured that it was they didn't get it. They put in the case. I sent my information, then I didn't hear anything at all. I figured, well, this is probably a person that was trying to get me to do a partial refund or something like that, or refund the money, and they kept the game. So it come up later on. Now, when you get to that 28 days into that 30-day where the case is open on the item, then I get a notification, again, my little chime, ring, oh, hey, best offer? Oh, no. Case, they've asked the eBay to intervene on the case because they didn't do it, and eBay will review it. And at that point, then eBay's holding my funds on this item.
Right.
Now, we're not talking like tons. It's $35 or something that they're holding my funds, which sometimes I don't think that is fair, but I understand in those seller and buyer protections, I would want that as a buyer. I would want that, protection myself. So I get that notification about, 30 minutes goes by or whatever. I get another chime, and eBay has closed the case in my favor. Because which
they almost always will if tracking shows it was delivered. Yeah,
I had the tracking and it was there. And so I guess where my question is that I don't know, and I could probably research this myself, but I would ask in the comments if people had any similar situations. But my concern is about the buyer, because there is so many people steal packages off of people's porches, or maybe the postal carrier delivered it to the wrong address, and those people didn't try to seek anybody out. They just kept it or whatever. What happens to the buyer at that point. Let's say they bought this game from me. It was delivered to a wrong address because obviously there was tracking information that showed that it was delivered someplace. They open up a case on their end. The case is in my favor. What happens to that buyer if they are on the up and up? Are they just out their $30? Or
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure what the recourse is at that point. I mean, for me, eBay either makes it right, which it's not really eBay's fault. It's not your fault. It's not their fault. So it's kind of a no fault thing.
Yeah, but somebody's out money someplace.
Right.
If eBay doesn't side in my favor, I'm out $35 for something that shows that it was tracked and delivered. And this customer, if they are on the up and up and legitimate, which I like to think that most people are.
Especially if they went all the way to that 30-day mark and they're still trying to get it resolved. Most scammers are pretty lazy and they quit after the first attempt.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would make me think that was real. I don't know. If eBay didn't make it right as a courtesy to a buyer, my only recourse that I would think of is I would dispute it on my own credit card or bank and say I never received this item. And usually the bank and the credit card is going to take your side usually.
Yeah. Yeah. So they would, I don't know if the credit card company, do they take that up with eBay then, or do they just refund, and again, it's not like it was a $3,500 item. It was, $30 plus shipping, whatever. A video game was, $5.
But what if it was a $3,500 item?
Yeah.
You just never, you never know. The consequences are just higher.
So I don't know. That's a question that I have. Maybe somebody I could go out on the Facebook groups and all that, but then sometimes you go out, we talked about that a little bit earlier. You go out and you ask a legitimate question as a seller or as a buyer, and then you get all of this negativity, or people go, that's been discussed 100 times in this. You should just go search. And there is all that due diligence. I'm a guy that's always going to search and look up the stuff myself. But in this platform, and it might be a good discussion if somebody had something in the comments that they know, what happens to the buyer? Again, customer service.
I just asked the question kind of in passing. I'll say, I wonder what happens in this situation where Teresa can hear me pondering. And she can't help herself. She'll Google it.
Okay.
So I just have to ponder out loud in the presence of Teresa.
Can you go get Teresa right now?
No, it's early. She's in bed. She'll throw something at me.
Oh, we don't need that. We don't need
probably one of my books that don't have bookshelves anymore.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, you're a reseller if.
Yeah. Graham stole all my bookshelves out of my bedroom this week because she needed a place to put her Stampin' Up collection that she bought.
So you guys bought this big Stampin' Up, like tons of stuff, right?
Yeah, like 300 pieces or something, like 300 pieces of Stampin' Up stuff. Yep. And it's been sitting. I mean, if you've been watching the videos on Grams and Pops, we've talked about it in like 4 episodes. It's been sitting on my tables and on the floor, and I guess she got sick of it because I came in the house one afternoon and all my books in my bookshelves in my room are just on piles on the floor, and my bookshelves are gone. She stole my bookshelves.
We said that, and they are here now. Look, there's Cory's bedroom bookshelves are now in the warehouse.
She stacked them and screwed them to a wall and filled them up with Stampin' Up.
Oh, is this all Department 56 beside this in the photo too? Is that all Christmas right there?
Yeah, we have 2 of those green shelves like that, one on either side of my old bookshelves that are all Department 56.
So now you just have a pile of books in your bedroom that she can pick up and wing at you when you wake her up too early.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, so you know what would be nice though? You should make her. Oh, look how we're going to bring this one all the way around, Cory, before we end the show. You should go make her a stack of pancakes with your American Bubble Boy syrup, and then maybe some cocoa wheats, some lumpy cocoa wheats. take her breakfast in bed. All right. She wakes up. She's like, why are you, she's got the book in hand and she's like, oh, Cory made me breakfast. And then you
sounds
could
like
go,
a horrible idea.
You could be like, here you go, honey. And then you could go, hey, Ken wants to know what happens to a buyer when they don't legitimately receive their package. And see, it's a win-win for both of us.
Here's some breakfast. I was also wondering. You're trying to get me hurt.
Okay. Anyway, Cory, that's it. You got anything? We brought the show all the way back around. You got anything else before we see the folks Thursday night?
We got to talk
8
about
p.m.
that photo.
We're going to get that photo changed as we pitch this show this week. But if you are here this long in the show, all the way to the end, we appreciate it. And
thank you.
We will see you live.
And we're sorry.
Yes. For all of the shenanigans. We should just re-record this. You want to start over and re-record? No, I think this was a great show. This is a great show. I had fun with this one. But
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody Thursday and doing a live show. The last thing we did even remotely live was at the rally, and it wasn't live to YouTube, but it was live and in person. So this is going to be a first for me here.
Come over, join the chat. That's the fun part. Join the chat. We're going to do kind of that trivia game, that quizzes or whatever trivia game. It's going to be all kind of Halloween related. And just gonna be fun. So we hope everybody shows up there. I'm gonna throw up disgruntled grams or disgruntled pops.
Good Lord,
man, I can't talk. I'm just gonna end.